Hello everyone, this is Janet from Mixed Media Mama. It is all about covers today. As many of you know, I am a design team member for Elizabeth Craft Design, David's team, the Art Journal Specials. He has just released a ATC journal and sleeves, plastic sleeves that hold the ATCs, the artist trading cards. Now, back in February, David had released a phenomenal, fantastic, fabulous collection, and it was all about art journals, artist trading cards, coin cards. Oh my gosh, I can go on and on and on. And on top of that, he released a paper too, the Abandon. Oh, it was just luscious. I have had so much fun, and I've come to you today to show you it is all about the covers today. Now, I had received a ATC in this beautiful, the cover, the journal cover, the ATC, and it's a little bit smaller. And I'm going to hold this up. It is now out. Hope you can read that. It's AJ04 ATC Art Journal, ATC size refillable. And it comes in this beautiful, beautiful burlap bag. And knowing me, I will definitely reuse that for something. But then the refillables come also. And there is, if I remember right, there is 12 pages of these refillable sleeves. So really what these I'm going to keep them on here. So what these are, you put your ATC cards in here, and then you put them into the covers, and I will show you how I do that. And they're top loading. They will be top loading, and you can, the coins or the ATCs, the cards, throughout the whole dies, all of the dies, even into, it kind of squeaks over into other collections and within Elizabeth Craft Designs. The designers, let me tell you, they are just phenomenal because they really play off of each other, and they all work. All of their collections work together. It's just so much fun. But anyway, these sleeves, along with this, came to me this last week, and I just could not wait to show you and get my hands dirty with them. So as many of you know, some time ago, I had decorated this cork cover. And I had put a video out how to decorate this cork cover. And I will link that one below. I am a mixed media artist. I love getting my hands goopy and dirty and all of that. The messier I can get creating, the happier I am. Well, I took this. I had watched, and I took this idea. I had watched David's last video, or one of his last videos, of how he went off of Jennifer's, and I will link that video down below, idea about embossing leathers, putting these leather covers in embossing folders, put them through your machines, either the Big Shot or the Switch, and you get a whole new world. Well, I had to try it, and then I took it one step further, and I just couldn't help myself. I just kept going and going and going. So this is the ATC cover that I had received, and of course it is a trifold like that. So I had to put a lot of goop. That's what I call the mediums, the paints, the pastes, the sprays. It's just all goops. It's just lusciousness. So I am going to explain quite quickly. When I'm in the process, I don't know what I'm going to end up with. So many of you have said, can you do a tutorial of create with me, and so you can create along with, well, it takes me a while because I experiment all the time. So this is why I come back and I try to explain it to the best of my ability of what I did. So you have your basic cover folder. And the first thing I did is that I put a thin layer of clear gesso onto the cover and onto the inside. Now this luscious leather cover was just nice and soft and subtle. Well, that clear gesso will not color it, but it will kind of make it a rough, not a lot, but a little bit. It was like a really fine sandpaper. But it holds, it puts that layer of primer, it puts a layer of something, so all of the mediums, all of the paints, all of the sprays will not soak into the cover. So that's why I put a layer of just clear gesso on the front and on the inside. I wanted to take this out because I wanted to really put a lot of stress, a lot of my goopiness, I will call it, my mediums onto the front, and I didn't want to mess with this. So I cut it. And that is what this is for, because I tried to glue it back together after I got it all done. So the first layer, I primed it with the layer of clear gesso. I let it dry, air dry. You can dry it, but I just went on to a different project. Came back, and then I took some sprays. And what I did is that I have boxes and boxes. I had bought some Lindy's sprays, but I also combined my Lindy's sprays with the Distress Spray stains. Now I have a clock here, and it is time for it to come out. So I guess you're going to get serenaded. So I use Vintage Photo and Lindy's Starburst, and it is the Bayou Boogie Gold. Now you use what you have. I wanted to just basically put a nice background of color. Now this was a lighter, really beautiful light brown, but I wanted to get it to be grungy because I love the vintage. I love the grungy look, and so I used what I had. So I used a lot of water. This is my first layer after the gesso, and I just kept piling and drying between each layer. I would spray it, and then I would dry it and spray it and dry it and spray it and dry it. And then I probably ended up, and that's where you see the little bit of blues. And of course, I just kept layering and layering. I took some time. It practically took me probably all afternoon just because I wanted to dry it and take my time and think about it. So once I got the color, the base color, to be where I liked it, it was just some different colors, from lights and darks, just some stains, but yet some shimmer in there. Then I came with paste, and this is where I used Tim Holtz Texture Black Opaque. I put it through one of David's stencils, and it is from his Journal 3 package that came out in his last release, and it's SO52. And I just used portions of it. I knew I wanted to have the large. I just portioned it off. Actually, I used it this way, I believe. Maybe I even used it upside down. Nope. There, I used it this way. There we go. I think you can see that. So you can actually see, so I just took my spatula and put the black opaque texture paste through here, and I put it to the side and let it dry. This time I did let it air dry completely. And I was working on something else, so it probably took a good 45 minutes. It was not a thick, I tried to just keep it fairly thin, but yet enough that you could know that there was some texture there. And you can see it is raised a little bit. So it probably took about an hour to dry. And so I came back, and so then I had that, and then I added more sprays. And this is where I started to really experiment. I added more sprays. I probably went to the oxides and I added some more of the same dark, and I just kept playing with my color scheme. If I was going to go light one time, I'd dry it completely and then I'd go to a little bit of dark. I dry it completely and go to a different light color, and I just play back and forth until I could see. I even used some lost shadow, and that is where you could see this cloudiness. I just really wanted, and you could see some whites, and this is from Seth Apter. I used sprays. I used the things that I had. You use what you have. I am very, very strong and big on saying, use what you got. Don't go out and buy new things if you've got a whole shelf, whole box, whole container of other things. Use what you have. So I just kept coming back and I kept getting that shadows. I wanted to have the greens, the blues, the darknesses, the browns. And then once I got that all done, and surprisingly, why it should have surprised me, Tim Holtz, he knew what he was doing with this texture paste. It held up tremendously. After it was all dried, it still did not have this bronzish, or this white. The white is from iZinc Adeline from Seth Apter on Paper Artsy, I believe. Or you can go to sethapter.com. Love his Paper Artsy paints and these sprays. This white one is just really, really good. Actually, it's antique pearl, but it holds up to the true color. So then I took, after everything was dry, I wanted to have these beautiful plus signs to stick out. So then I took and I came back with, I don't have it in front of me. It is Art Alchemy from Finnabar and Prima Marketing, the metallic, and it was in bronze. And basically it is a wax. So you take whatever waxes or paints, if you have even a gold paint, I just took my finger and lightly went this way, or a really tiny brush, something like this, and I just went like this. I wanted to really make those crosses or those plus signs to stand out. I have quite a few different size brushes, so the smaller the plus signs, the smaller the brush went. And I was very excited from that, and then I just took my white and made some splatters. One important step before I even started with all the mediums. After I primed it, I took 2 embossing folders and I put it through my switch. And very carefully you can see, and I will put these embossing folders down below. Very carefully you can see these polka dotted right here, right through here, and both of them are Tim Holtz, and they are the 3Ds, just like what you had seen in David's. I had put these through. I was so inspired, but I wanted to take it one more step. So after I embossed it, and then I started to spray. And then I put more goops or the paste on, and then more sprays. And of course, I'm drying between each layer, and until I got to the right look that I wanted. And then I finished it off at the very edge. I took some scorched timber oxide and went all the way around. And then I came back with some of that metallic wax from Finnabair or Prima Marketing and went all the way around. And I think I used a little bit of gold there, but it was bronze and gold. It really, and of course, lost shadow there. That is just, I really like that cloudiness. And of course, then I put the elastic back through, and I will use this as my ATC, but I just wanted to show you one of the things, how I just took it one step further. And I always ask myself, I wonder if this could handle, or I wonder if. So that was that one. So when I got this far, it's like, I have to do another one. So I took another cover, and of course I had to buy all kinds of covers. This is just a small square, and I did the exact same things what David had did. I put it through the embossing folders. This time I left this in, and then I used the waxes, and these are the colors that I use. Of course, I have a lot of these art alchemies. These two are metallics, and this one is an antique brilliance. These three are metallics. So the brushed iron, mint sparkle, old denim, and the antique brilliance, that's what gives it that kind of, you can't quite see all of the brown because it was a black cover to begin with. But I started basically just like David. It was a black, embossed it. When I put it through my switch, I put it through twice because I wanted to have a deep, and it did, a deep imprint of the cover, and it really did make a nice imprint. I love these little inserts here. I think that's brilliant. Brilliant. So on the inside, that's where this Lucky Emerald comes in, because the Lucky Emerald is an antique brilliance. So it has a brown background, and you can kind of see the brown. It's supposed to give you that really grungy vintage, and that's what this does. It has that brown, but yet you can see that emerald color. That's what the antique brilliance is. I will link Finnabair's. It's Anna, and I will not butcher her last name. We always call her Finnabair. She is just brilliant artist. I got to follow her quite a few years ago, and that's where I got onto these waxes. But that is what I did, and I am going to leave that just like this because that is just a beautiful, I love those blues. That's that denim. And then on the inside, I did that Lucky Emerald with the brushed iron for the little tucks. Love that. So then I went, well, why couldn't I do something totally different? And I went, okay, what if I made a window? I want to see all of the ATCs or all of the journaling on the inside. Now this is a journal. I believe it's the TN journal. Yes, TN04 Ochre. It's from the Art Journal Specials at TN04 Ochre. And it's a little bit taller, but it came with, of course, it came with this. So I want to tell you, it has that beautiful, beautiful texture on it. And I wonder if I can cut, or I wonder if I could cut using one of David's torn set on here. Well, let me tell you, these leather covers are it has a leather, and then it has a lining, and then it has a inside. Super, super thick. I even thought if I could emboss it that way. No. So what I did, here's my ticket, is that I went like this. I took a marker, fine tip marker, and I drew around that. Then I took my X-Acto knife, and I needed a slit to get my scissors in, because so I put it onto my mat, and I just cut one end open, and then I took my scissors and I cut all the way around, all the way, and I just wiggled it to get something similar to the edge like this. That's why I cut on the black line, so you do not see any of that black line. So that worked. And so then I had this out, and you can kind of see that black line right there. I cut on the outside, so you do not see it here. And then I wonder if I could do something similar. So then I took David's labels, tags, labels, tags, and more set. It's 2111. And I took this piece and I put it down, and I drew these ends right here all the way around. And then I realized, I'm not going to be able to cut those out. That was silly of me. That wasn't thinking clearly. But then I went, hey, I kind of like that. What if I zigzag all the way over those colored areas that I traced? You can kind of see those areas where I traced, because I thought I was going to be able to cut out those little areas right here with my X-Acto knife. I did that all the way around, and you can kind of see those little slit things. And I went, I'm just going to zigzag to make it just look good on. So I put it through my sewing machines, and yes, this leather works like a charm through a sewing machine. Now, if you're not a seamstress or you don't have a sewing machine, that's just okay. But that is one of my biggest tools, is my sewing machine. So I put it over there, and I have to tell you, I really like those little slits or pretend. It's just marked from, I just use this as a stencil, basically. And I just put it right out like there. And I just traced it all the way around. So I zigzagged all the way around over them, and I went, I like that. And then I went, I've got this hole here. What am I going to do? Okay, this is where I wanted to make a window. So what I did is that I took a package. This is from one of the die sets, and it ripped open. So I took, and I'm going to open this up here on the inside. And I hope you can kind of understand. This is where I cut this piece out. I just cut a piece of plastic out to be bigger than that window. And then I want that window to be colored a little bit different. I want to see that it has like a crack. Then I took mica tiles. I have spoke about these mica tiles before in my previous videos. You can get them on Amazon, but these mica tiles are just basically rock. That's what mica is. And so I glued a piece of mica. It's not going to be the exact same. I glued a piece of mica. The mica is already in there, and actually it's on the front. And the plastic is on the back because I wanted to have a easy, smooth surface on the back. And a piece of mica large enough that went underneath the plastic. So there's mica on this side, plastic on the other side. And I glued, just spot glued, and that's where you can see that little white film right there. It's still drying. I just tacked it down with barely art glue, or art glitter glue would work the same. Tacked the plastic and the mica together first. And then I tacked the plastic and mica that were already sandwiched together. I tacked it to the inside of the cover. And I just held it for approximately about a minute until that barely art glue stuck to the inside of the cover. Then I took it to my sewing machine and I sewed fairly close without jeopardizing the beauty of the design of that die of David's. And I just made a straight stitch all the way around. So you can kind of see what I mean. It's not perfectly straight, but that's okay with me. I absolutely love this. So now when I'm going to let this cure, because I got to let that glue cure overnight. And especially since it's between plastic and mica, it's going to have a hard time to breathe. But there's still a little place right here where air can go in. And it'll cure. It'll cure. I just need to give it some time. But this, wow, isn't this a phenomenal thing of now I can see a window through all of the pages, especially that front page in my journal. Oh, yeah. And now I'm sure I'm not probably the first one to do this, but I am thrilled. Whoever invented that, I just kept asking, what if? What if? So now you have not only embossed and waxes put on covers, but I embossed and put goops and mediums and sprays and paints on the covers. And this one's quite not yet done. I'm still working on it. I think it needs something right there. But I have to leave it and come back. And then the final is that taking a cover, cutting out a piece or a shape, putting a plastic window in it, and sewing it and making a different look. Isn't that love, love, love? All right. Like and subscribe to me. Tell me what you think. If you have any ideas, comment and let us know. I would love to support you as much as you support me. I thank you for every single one of you. I am so excited here, and keep in touch. We are just beginning to show. There's a new pack of paper that came out today. Esther had shown it earlier today, and wow, is it just stunning. Cannot wait to start playing around and putting ATCs and using these beautiful folders, these beautiful covers, these beautiful journals into journals that we can carry around and give as gifts or just record our lives. Oh, thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. Until next video, take care. Bye.